Hello, good evening, my fellow South Carolinians. Greetings to all of you, and thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Catherine Fleming Bruce. I'm a resident of Columbia in South Carolina in Richland County and a candidate for the United States Senate, a seat currently held by Tim Scott. I'm speaking to you on the eve of early voting, an opportunity to cast your ballot in the South Carolina primary runoff, taking place on Wednesday, June 22nd, Thursday, June 23rd, and Friday, June 24th from 8:30 to 5. If you voted for me, I came to say thank you. I was an underdog in this race, outraised, outspent by my primary opponent 4 times over. Yet money was no obstacle for the will of the people of South Carolina. You delivered me a first place finish. You made me the front runner. I ask you to return to the polls tomorrow to help me win this final runoff challenge. If you did not vote for me, or if you did not vote at all, you now have an exciting opportunity to join our winning team, a team that shook up the conventional wisdom about political victory and one that will be talked about across the nation after June 28th. In the brief time I have before you today, I want to talk about what's at stake. And I want to ask you to come back to the polls. And I tell you why I ask you to come back to the polls to elect me as your Democratic candidate for this seat during the upcoming primary runoff. Since I announced my candidacy on Martin Luther King Day of this year in the cold of New York City, we have seen the ongoing assaults on democracy, on our civil rights, both here in South Carolina and in Washington. The January 6 hearings are currently dissecting the insurrection in great detail, with commission members and their families sometimes coming under threat. The Uvalde police and the political leadership there in Texas continue their evasiveness about the events that took place at the school, which should have been a place of safety, but instead was a location of slaughter, as was the grocery store in Buffalo, New York, another place that should be a place of safety. This past Saturday, I joined thousands of people from around the country in Washington, D.C. for the Poor People's Campaign, in a call from William Barber and other organizations with him for federal action that will help the poor, the low income, and the average worker, as well as attention to the climate crisis, to voting rights, to women's rights, to self-determination for women, and to police brutality and the savage wars in Ukraine and other parts of the world. All in the face of a U.S. Supreme Court and state legislatures that are bent on dismantling our public institutions like our schools that support equality, inclusion, and the common good. So in short, as I've said, we are at war on multiple fronts. The blessing in all this, the silver lining, is that people are realizing that we can do better, that a new vision and a new reality is possible here in South Carolina and in our country. The ballot you cast for me in the runoff is a ballot cast in that direction, one that will allow me to share a new vision with our fellow South Carolinians. I'm asking you to cast your vote for me and to send me to serve. I'm ready on day one to serve in the U.S. Senate in this moment of global crisis. I'm ready to advance federal bills that serve critical local South Carolina needs. I'm ready to build our economy without sacrificing our rights and protections. I'm ready to preserve, protect, and defend democracy and our civil rights. I'm ready to pass legislation that will protect our elementary, middle, and high schools and other gathering places from deadly assaults. I'm thankful for your confidence in me, confidence in my years of dedication to public service with partners in and out of our state. My deep roots here throughout South Carolina, my democracy building work done with civic, and community leaders from around the country, and Americans working abroad, and global governance work during the United Nations World Summits, all have prepared me for this US Senate seat. I've drafted legislation, I've penned successful grants, I've advocated for adequate budgets and programs that will support and meet community needs. And I've served as a leader of state grand jury that investigated and indicted corrupt sitting legislators, all leading me to become the seasoned candidate before you right now, who is ready for this moment. So I ask you to come and vote in the runoff and choose me. I know that when Democrats work, we win. I know when independents work with us, we win. I know when Republicans work with us, we win. I'm Catherine Fleming Bruce, the front runner in the US race for Senate in South Carolina, and I thank you for your attention tonight. Let's move forward boldly all across our state because fortune favors the bold. I thank you and I wish you a good evening. And please take a friend with you, share this video tonight, go to the polls, vote for me, and make sure that you can celebrate a new South Carolina with the victory that we will set into motion. Thank you.